Greetings and welcome back to yet another episode of Dark Souls 3. And in the previous episode, something happened that you haven't seen. And you might say, oh, where is this particular fair maiden? Where did she go to? Was it too cold and maybe she moved to a warmer place? And the answer to that is sadly no. I've actually explored the entire area that's the mountains in the previous episode, and you'll be saying, well, but I didn't see that episode, and that's because I hadn't recorded it. I forgot to press the record button when I actually started, and that is upsetting. Now, instead of going all of that work going to waste, I mean, it's gonna go to waste because I haven't recorded it, there's nothing to go to waste. What I'll do is, instead of just going through the entire area again slowly, I'll just give you a rundown of what I did, how I did it, and maybe what the consequences of that were, and maybe we can go from there. Now, you can just expect this to be like a tour of the icy mountain, and I think if you put yourself in that particular mind space, that's gonna be for the best. So first, when I actually came upon here, I noticed these burly guys. I mean, I guess they're not that burly, but yeah, the cold guys. We fought them before, and there's quite a few of them, and I actually did develop a strategy to run through them, but I'm just trying to show you how I've disposed of them when I actually did fight them, so you can get a clearer picture of all the tribulations I've had to go through in order to get to here. So once I've disposed of them, of course in the episode that you haven't seen, I've also learned that I can actually destroy them in only one hit, which kind of really sped the process up. Now, some of them throw spears, some of them spit flames, some of them just have regular swords and torches. Now, I wasn't too worried about it. I basically just ran through. I got all of them. Here's another guy who's just chilling here. No mercy, I'm sorry, my friend. Now, you will be the next one to go because I do not like you or your cadence, and just the way you approach me is just generally rude. I've never really appreciated it, and for that I feel like I need to end your life. Okay, so this guy again is kind of lonely here. I don't blame him. The other bunch is kind of mean, and I don't really want to deal with him, so probably he doesn't want to deal with him either. Then I kind of ran up here. There's a lot of dead ends in this area, and you know, like the entire episode, if I had recorded it the way I intended to, would be quite disconnected because there's, like I said, a lot of dead ends and just a lot of ways you can go and not really get anywhere. But essentially, the second thing I did that was noteworthy was I jumped down at this guy, I beat him up. I'm not going to do it again because you're going to see more of them later, so don't worry about that. There's another guy there in the distance who kind of spawns earthquakes for some reason, and that can be generally annoying as you're trying to traverse the area. That particular area has nothing that's really what I would say useful. They just gave me like an axe they use, which I might use in one of the later episodes, so you might see it. I think it was like a follower great axe, something of that sort. And yeah, that was basically it, everything that's down there. Then as I continued through my journey, I've encountered this fellow who again is kind of lonely here. I don't really blame him for that. Then I went up here, and you might have noticed a tail. The first time I hadn't, and then a wolf jumps beneath the rock, and it really scared me. It was kind of sad and unfortunate. But as soon as I got over my fears of wolves and generally of fur and enemies that can bite me, then I proceeded and got rid of them as well. No worries, just come here, wolves. I appreciate it. Take your time. This is a safe place if you want to fight them. Some of them sometimes jump off. It's kind of standard, really. The first few times it was funny, but then you get used to it. It's like a Scooby-Doo sketch. You know, just think of them as maybe more vicious Scooby-Doos. I think that's a good way to put it. They're just jumping around, so am I. It's just like standard. We're just kind of playing, you know. It's fine. I'm one of the clan of the poppers. Wolfers, I guess that's a better way to put it. I got a bunch of shards and rocks and stones to upgrade weapons with, essentially, in this entire area. Now, you can proceed to go down there, but there was just a single item. I think it was like a follower torch, so the torch that the followers use. Again, I wasn't too impressed by it, so I'm not really gonna point it out. Now, by far the most annoying area that I got stuck on is this one. It is exactly this one. First of all, there's this guy here who has a bow, and then he wields a mace, and behind him was just a single item. I think it was a follower. I mean, it was the maze that they use, and once I got rid of him and actually dealt with him, that was much easier. Then these two guys, these two guys were by far the most annoying bunch to get through because there's two of them, and for some reason you can see that there are some explosions happening. Maybe you can't see it, but maybe you can hear it. And those explosions can sometimes hit you. I'm not really sure what's causing them. I think it's one of the X guys from below. You see that? That deals a lot of damage, and it's really annoying when you actually try to fight them on these narrow ledges. And sometimes they don't even attack you at the place you are, so you really can't dodge them, but they just attack at the random... I mean, they just spawn at random places so they can hit you and kind of predict you in some sense. So that was unfortunate in all regards. Yeah, this is what I meant. I mean, I obviously didn't dodge in that regard, but you can see it can knock you around and just bounce you off ledges. It's really annoying to fight them, essentially. It took me like 3 or 4 tries to get through them the first time. Like the best way I found was just to lure this guy. It takes a little bit of a while, but once you have him here, he's not too terribly difficult, especially if you use the environment to your advantage. Now, it's really annoying if he keeps shredding. Okay, so let's dodge, let's go slowly, no worries. We probably triggered him now. He's probably really upset about the guy flailing his axe around him. Okay, that's fine. Once you get him... Oh, I'm not really sure how that hit me. That happens sometimes. Let's just heal. Let's heal twice. If you use the environment to your advantage, it can be quite useful, but sometimes you can do silly things like this. One guy actually managed to clip me through the wall from below. Like, imagine there was a ledge and he was beneath the ledge and he actually managed to hit me that way. Okay, I'm being really bad right now, but it's probably because I'm really trying to explain what's going on. So yeah, they have a few attacks that I would consider not entirely fair. I attacked instead of dodging. So I did click a button at the right time, it was just the wrong button, which sadly does not help much. Okay, this is fine because now I can strike him twice, maybe even 3 times. Yeah, there we go. They drop shards, nothing too significant. I don't think I've gotten anything really useful out of them yet. The other guy there also has an axe, so he's a very similar enemy in some regard. And yeah, they keep coming. I was lucky in that regard, so I think I can strike him twice here, maybe even 3 times because I managed to. Yeah, I just decided to tank it. Titanium chunk is great, good. Then I dropped down here. There was something here I don't recall, probably wasn't all that useful because I don't use 90% of the items in this game anyway. And yeah, just a bunch of more dead ends, and then you're going to this cavern, which is quite a bit different than usual. And I think it's a really different tone as soon as you enter it. There's just a bunch of flies everywhere. Now, come with your torch, because they can spit worms at you. They open up a whole another can of worms, is a joke I made in my previous video. I mean, that I tried to make but wasn't recorded. And sadly, it won't be appreciated now because the comedic timing is awful, but at least I tried. And now I'm telling you because I feel like it was a funny joke. And I think in some sense, funny jokes should be appreciated, especially when you try to make them. And if they work, I think it worked before, but not now. Okay, I'm talking about a can of worms. Essentially, yeah, when you come here, you open up a can of worms, and not just because they spit worms at you, but because there's a lot of them, and again, they're kind of annoying to fight because they move in really weird ways, and my weapon is way too slow to actually deal with them efficiently, and it's just a bit of a hassle, I guess. Sometimes they jump at you and try to eat you, and yeah, it's also a little bit annoying, but... Can you stop trying to hug me? I mean, I appreciate it. It's a nice sentiment. Oh gosh, damn it. This is the suffering you've missed in the previous episode, and maybe some of you are happy, but I generally like seeing people I watch on YouTube suffer. It's just fun. I'm not really sure what it is. It's something about someone being so engrossed in a game that they're willing to go through all of that just to deliver you content. Some sense. Oh gosh. So yeah, once I got rid of these flies, there's a bunch more here, at least one more here, and you see a bunch of things on the ground, and there's more of them on the other side. I guess I hadn't picked this up before, I didn't even notice it. I'm afraid it might just break. Oh gosh, no, you're my friend, you can't just sneak up on people like that. Dank pie. Great. This is what I'd sacrifice my life for. I'm not too terribly pleased with that. Yes, I assume there's a way to get to the other side. I hadn't found it before. Oh, there it is. It's a plank. I didn't know that would work, but I'm glad it did. So yeah, I wasn't here before, so I guess we can explore this area a little bit. Just to make this video just a little bit longer. Even though it's just a bunch of flies just kind of laying around. They're dormant. Some of them are dormant, they don't really attack you, which is nice, but yeah. You can go here, but I also think there's a hidden wall on the other... I mean, not that I think. There is a hidden wall on the other side, which leads you to the below chambers, which we caught a glimpse of. Tell me this is some form of a shortcut. That would be really sweet. Maybe I had just missed it before. Oh, it is. It totally is a form of a shortcut. Oh, that's nice. Okay, I will come back here later. I'll rest at the bonfire. Hopefully she won't be triggered when she sees me. I appreciate it. I'll be on my merry way. I will see you back very soon because something happened in this particular... Remember this spot. Do you see the statue? Yeah, there's like a doorway beneath it. We unlocked that, or at least we triggered that in some way. So having a shortcut here is definitely useful. Something that would have come in handy if I actually knew it was here before. But we know now, which means our tour continues. So as I actually went through all of this area, I have to remember the respawn. I was basically just chopping flies left and right. It's just, you know, what I do on a Friday evening, even though it's Sunday, but it's something I do on Fridays as well. It's not exclusive to Fridays, let me put it this way. So yeah, a few of them, maybe some of them get mad and jump at me. Yeah, I mean, I get it, fine. You know what? I don't really care. Here was a hidden wall, and I just kind of ran through it. I mean, I opened it by rolling into it, or just by chopping it, both works. Will any of you come? Yeah, you're gonna jump at me, you're gonna try to hug me. I will say no, because I don't like unsolicited hugs from strangers, which I don't like. Especially if you're flies and kind of gross and haven't showered in a while. And I feel like all of those things apply to you, so for that reason, I do not want hugs from you. If you were nicer, maybe, but you're not, so take a hug. Okay, so I opened up the shortcut here. I came down and I was like, well, there's a bunch of mushrooms on the floor, which means that this place has really been abandoned. And I entered this place and I see just a bunch more flies, which again, I wasn't really too thrilled, but they are mostly dormant. They don't really attack you. They just kind of eat whatever they eat. I was kind of afraid that there would be a giant fly mama boss, which would come down, and she didn't. So that's nice because I didn't have to worry about that. So a bunch of them just kind of fly in your general direction, but it's much easier to dispose of them here because, like I said, they are eating, so they're not focused on attacking you. They're focused on just feasting, which is entirely fair. I understand their needs to eat to survive. It's something that humans do as well, so I can relate to them at least on that level. So once I get through that, yeah, I dispose of this guy as well. Okay, excuse me, my friend. And you're next. You are... There we go. Great. Okay, so as I kind of continue through this area, I noticed that there's not really a lot of things here. There were like 2 items, I think 2 souls, which I could actually pick up in total, which is not too terribly good. And I think one of them was a blood gem of some sort, which again might be useful for like upgrading something of some sort. But you might be saying, why am I not using my shield? And the main reason for that is mainly because my shield is useless when they try to grab me, and just heal. And they actually cause a bleed out by spitting worms at you, which is what made the candy and the worms joke so funny before. But essentially, when they spit worms at you, they cause you to bleed, and the only way to get rid of the bleed or the worms is to have a torch on you. And that's why I'm holding the torch here. Plus, it lights up the area, so it's just a little bit nicer to watch, I guess. Okay, so there's a few more of them here, and I disposed of them. 2 more here. They do drop what I would say a non-significant amount of souls, so it's not really worth to farm them here, I suppose. So this lever was important because when I press this lever... Now, don't ask me why this is here, because it makes no sense. Like, why the hell would this be here? But when you press it, essentially, the statue that I pointed out before that was important has moved back and revealed the staircase at the Queen. which I think made her even more upset, because we've also killed her guard, and now we've opened and tampered with something that we probably shouldn't have tampered with, especially because she told us to get out of the kingdom because we're not welcome here, so I assume that she is upset, and that something bad will happen when we actually go up it. But it is not the time to worry about that for now. As I entered there was another hidden wall here. I opened it, and there were 2 crystal lizards here. I managed to get them. I got some titanite out of them, which was nice. Then I exited this particular area, and I was like, okay, so apparently I need to get down, and I need to get to the Colosseum. So I tried one time, and I healed, and then I fell and died for the first time, and then the second time around, like, the branches are obviously slippery. You can see that. I don't need to tell you. The branches are slippery. I think there's probably a safer way to actually get down and just deposit. Yeah, see, this is what happened my second time around. I fell into the water of some sort and ended up dying. And then I respawned in the bonfire, and that is when I actually started recording this episode. So, I'm sorry for the abruptness of this episode and just maybe how different it was. I hope you enjoyed the tour, if nothing else. In the next one, I will actually do a little bit more exploration, then we'll come here, because I feel like this might be a way to the boss. So let's just go back to where I was before, and let's just see. I mean, I'm just gonna show where I intend to go, just to maybe pad this bad boy out a little bit. It is disappointing, because I feel like my previous commentary was a lot better and just overall a lot more enjoyable, but you know, it happens, right? I can't be too upset. I forgot to press the record button. It's the most standard mistake that can happen out there when you're trying to do something. But yeah, I intend on going in that particular direction. I feel like if you squeeze your way through here, you can get down, and it seems like there's an area to explore here, so we will do that in the next episode, and then in the third one we will actually go to the queen and see what she hides. Now, if this ends up being really short, I'll just go to the queen directly, but so yeah, sorry for the abruptness, sorry for maybe a little bit of a change of plans. I hope I showed you everything that was relatively important. You really haven't missed out on much. Like, this entire area didn't really have all of that many secrets, and it didn't have all of that many things to see. So I think it was one of the best episodes to actually skip out on, but still, it's a bit disappointing. I hope you enjoyed this one, guys, and I hope to see you next time.